Have you ever paused and wondered why you find yourself acting without remembering the choice to do so? Why your hand reaches instinctively for your phone before you even admit you're lonely? Why you quietly smile in places that secretly wound you, or stay silent when your heart is desperate to speak? You think you're consciously deciding, but beneath your awareness, something deeper is quietly pulling the strings. This hidden force is older than logic, subtler than language, yet infinitely more powerful. It is the subconscious, the silent engine driving your life, moving in quiet rhythms, holding memories you no longer recall clearly but feel intensely. Every fleeting glance, every subtle rejection, every moment of safety or pain lives here, silently shaping each step you take. Like an invisible current beneath calm waters, it guides you even as your conscious self confidently believes it chooses the way. We assume our lives are a series of deliberate choices: whom we love, what we fear, how we live. But these paths were quietly paved long before our minds knew how to name them. Just as musicians play melodies their fingers memorized without conscious thought, or drivers arrive home without recalling the journey, your inner self navigates life without your awareness. This is the paradox at the heart of human experience. You hold tightly to the steering wheel, certain you're in control, while beneath the surface, unseen currents already chart your course. If so much of your daily existence quietly unfolds beyond conscious awareness, it leaves you wondering, are you truly guiding your life, or merely following a path secretly written long ago by something deeper within? Long before your mind learned to form thoughts, your heart had already mastered feeling. Before words shaped your understanding, your subconscious had quietly begun translating life through a secret language of gestures, tones, and silence. A lingering glance taught you caution. A heavy sigh conveyed disappointment. A fleeting smile whispered that you were safe, at least for this moment. Every subtle exchange became embedded within you, silently sculpting the emotional architecture that guides your adult self today. Imagine a child alone in a softly shadowed room, gripping a beloved toy tightly, seeking comfort against uncertainty. The air is thick with tension, unspoken yet impossible to ignore. The mother's voice is sharp-edged today. Her movements are hurried, restless, her gaze fixed elsewhere. The child doesn't understand what's happening through reason, only through the vibrations carried by silence. Here, a profound lesson quietly settles into the child's subconscious. Love can vanish without explanation or warning. This realization doesn't fade with time. Instead, it sinks deeper, becoming a permanent, hidden belief. Decades later, the same child, now grown, still carries this invisible wound. Perhaps they hesitate before sharing joy openly, fearing it might invite rejection or punishment. Or maybe they endlessly accommodate others, sacrificing their needs to keep an illusion of harmony intact. Psychologists name this subtle mechanism attachment conditioning, where early emotional experiences shape pathways deep in the subconscious. Each emotional interaction, every harsh word or gentle touch, creates neural echoes, reinforcing a hidden truth. Love equals safety, rejection equals danger. Science confirms that by age 7, these emotional scripts have already been imprinted deeply. The subconscious holds essential answers about your place in the world. Were you truly seen? Were you genuinely safe? Did your emotions matter to those closest to you? Every question answered in childhood silently carves out your future responses. A boy praised only for his silence grows into a man cautious of his own voice. A girl loved conditionally, only when perfect, becomes a woman who equates worthiness with exhaustion. Yet these patterns aren't deliberate choices, they're echoes. Your subconscious, loyal to its ancient mission of protecting you, repeatedly plays the old script, unaware that the danger has long passed. It still believes you're that child, carefully watching faces, reading emotional weather patterns, constantly adjusting yourself to avoid storms that no longer rage. As philosopher Alan Watts wisely observed, we seldom realize that our most private thoughts and feelings are not truly our own. They're inherited, quietly gifted through whispers, carried by footsteps in hallways, embedded in the tone with which someone once spoke your name. So consider deeply how much of who you are today is simply the repetition of forgotten emotional lessons. And if the subconscious still speaks in that original language of feeling, can you begin to listen differently, gently rewriting the script of who you truly wish to become? As adults, we assume we've grown beyond childhood pain, believing logic and discipline have rewritten old stories. But beneath the quiet assurance of maturity, there's a deeper narrative still quietly guiding your steps. That young child you once were didn't disappear. She simply learned to wear a mask so convincing that even you forgot her true face. Today, this hidden child emerges subtly in your behaviors and emotions. At work, she appears as the perfectionist who only feels safe when praised, driven relentlessly by a fear of falling short. In relationships, she's the cautious voice behind every hesitant smile, quietly whispering warnings whenever vulnerability feels too dangerous. Perhaps you're the reliable helper who always says yes, secretly terrified that saying no might trigger rejection. Or maybe you hold loved ones at arm's length, silently convinced that trusting too deeply will inevitably lead to pain. These behaviors aren't random. They are echoes of early emotional wounds. Psychology calls this attachment conditioning, a pattern imprinted when your young mind learned to connect love and safety. Back then, acceptance came at a cost. Silence, invisibility, perfection. Your subconscious memorized these rules as survival guides, quietly embedding them into your psyche through repetition. Today, without realizing it, you replay those same patterns again and again. Picture yourself as a skilled actor performing beautifully on stage, admired from afar, yet secretly controlled by invisible strings. Each string represents a silent promise your subconscious once made. I'll never disappoint. I'll never be a burden. I'll never reveal weakness. The performance earns you praise and keeps you safe. But behind the graceful movements lies quiet exhaustion and a sense of living someone else's story. Yet neuroscience shows these emotional habits aren't consciously chosen. They're automatic, programmed deep within the brain's oldest structures. Each time a situation mirrors past emotional pain, neural pathways fire automatically, compelling you to respond just as you did when you were small. You repeat familiar cycles not because they're fulfilling, but because familiarity is mistakenly interpreted as safety. The subconscious doesn't seek happiness. It seeks predictability, even if predictable patterns bring quiet suffering. Here's the truth hidden behind your carefully constructed mask. You chase what feels familiar, not what truly nourishes your soul. You seek love that mirrors past rejection, friendships where you're subtly unseen, relationships where your deepest needs remain quietly unmet, because subconsciously, pain that is predictable still feels safer than uncertainty. So, pause and consider this. Whose life are you truly living if your emotional habits were written long before you could hold a pen? If your subconscious has quietly scripted your every response, what freedom could emerge if you finally faced the invisible strings guiding you from beneath? In recognizing these hidden scripts, something powerful begins. A gentle rebellion inside you awakens. Could it be time to stop performing? To gently loosen those golden strings and finally meet the self quietly waiting behind the mask? Have you ever paused and wondered whether the thoughts guiding your life truly belong to you? Or if they were quietly placed within you by a world that never stops whispering? The dreams you chase, the stories you live, the ambitions you've embraced. How much was chosen consciously, and how much quietly imprinted by voices you never questioned? Your subconscious mind isn't isolated. It breathes in rhythm with the world around you, silently absorbing each message, repeated through culture, family, and tradition. Every story you've heard about happiness, success, love, and worthiness became threads weaving together a narrative you've mistaken for your own. Yet, beneath that narrative, your deeper self quietly waits, holding truths your conscious mind has forgotten. Healing doesn't start in fighting these patterns. It begins in seeing them clearly. True awakening is gentle, rooted not in rejection, but in recognition. To heal, you don't battle your subconscious, you listen. Imagine your mind as a garden, long neglected and overgrown. You've spent years tending the surface, trimming leaves, presenting flowers, but beneath, roots quietly whisper, longing to be acknowledged. Your subconscious is this deeper soil, patiently holding every hidden seed of memory and feeling. To reconnect, you must stop running and sit quietly with what rises in stillness. At first, it may feel unsettling. Thoughts surface, emotions stir, fears you've carefully buried begin to breathe again. But in the space between running and reacting lies your opportunity for genuine transformation. Neuroscience teaches us that awareness itself calms the mind's fear centers. When you witness thoughts without judgment, your mind slowly learns that it's safe to feel again. You begin gently reclaiming forgotten truths. I can rest without guilt. I can be loved without performance. Slowly, what was once alien becomes familiar, rewriting your subconscious pathways from survival to genuine self-acceptance. Dreams become gentle messengers, each one a symbolic letter, guiding you toward wholeness, reconnecting your inner divisions. This journey isn't about fixing brokenness, it's remembering what you've silenced. Integration happens when the hidden child within you finally feels safe enough to speak again. You discover that healing isn't a singular revelation, but an ongoing, patient dialogue between who you've become and who you've always been. The subconscious ceases to be your shadow and becomes your deepest ally, the quiet pulse beneath every genuine choice you make. Carl Jung beautifully described this as the meeting with oneself. Until you acknowledge your hidden truths, they continue guiding you unnoticed, mistaken for fate. Now consider gently. What if the freedom you've long searched for lies simply in listening deeply to yourself? What if the subconscious isn't an enemy but a guide patiently waiting to lead you home? If this speaks to you and you're ready to dive deeper into understanding yourself, consider subscribing to this channel. Explore the videos here, each one crafted to gently guide you back to your inner truth, helping you reclaim the life that's always been yours beneath the noise. Because perhaps the voice you've been searching for all along is already whispering quietly within you, simply waiting for you to listen.